Hey everyone, Dail Eireann descended into chaos here in Ireland yesterday. We saw disgraceful scenes emanating from the House. This is because of a row that's been rumbling on for the last number of months regarding speaking rights, and in particular focuses in on members of the government and people who have signed up to the programme for government and have said they will support the government through good and bad days, that are now claiming to be members of the opposition to ask questions during so-called leaders' questions when it's open to members of the opposition to hold the Taoiseach to account. Now, of course, we've seen the drive in Irish society towards more and more corruption, and in particular, more anti-democratic mechanisms, in particular by a lot of the members of the political establishment in Ireland. Now, Michael Lowry has been the kingmaker behind this coalition of chaos. Now, he himself is known as being profoundly corrupt, named in many reports such as the Moriarty Tribunal about his corrupt was almost breathtaking. And because of his dealings with Dennis O'Brien and the awarding of the second mobile phone licence in Ireland nearly 30 years ago. Now, Lowry has been elected on numerous times since as an independent TD since he was departed from Fine Gael, but he's never left the Fine Gael gene pool, and he has been supporting the government from the backbenches and from the so-called independent benches over the past number of years, voting with them on many, many occasions. Now, he has signed up to this programme for government as being the kingmaker, and also has been involved in getting Verona Murphy to a highly paid position. Now it looks like the members of the opposition in Dail Eireann are claiming that they will be looking for a motion of no confidence in Verona Murphy. Now, Verona Murphy, as we know, is on over €250,000 per year, and it was at Lowry's pushing that she got into that position. So what's Lowry got on the Irish government? You have to ask the question, what has he got on Fine Gael? What has he got on Fianna Fáil? I'm sure quite a lot. But of course, he is absolutely just contemptible and demonstrates what's wrong with Irish politics in terms of his corruption. But also really demonstrates a lot of more interesting facets of what's going on in the bigger picture, because the Dáil has only sat for less than 20 days. Think about it, 20 days. The general election was held nearly 4 months ago, and they've only sat for less than 20 days. They're not able to formulate committees, they're not able to push through legislation. And this is absolutely farcical, because even the committee stages are important in terms of checking on public finances, and we've seen so many public scandals in terms of finances and the misspending of public money for years and years, and in particular in the recent times with the Dáil bike shed, with the security hut, and with the children's hospital, and many more scandals that the government should be held to account on through these committees, but these haven't even been set up. But they're well able to sort out their trips to St. Patrick's junkets, where 38 members of the government went to 40 countries and 90 cities, all at our expense. But then they can't deal with the issues here domestically. And it's absolutely just farcical and disgraceful, and brings the whole veneer of democracy into complete and utter disrepute in Ireland, and demonstrates that these people are completely out of touch. They're more focused on their own egos and self-serving interests than representing the people of Ireland. Such the multitude of crises we have, for instance, with the housing and homeless disaster, the health chaos, the education chaos, the crime chaos across the country, the immigration chaos. These are issues happening, and as well, not to mention the EU Migration Pact that they're trying to force through. But of course, this government, part of the programme for government, was pushing a bigger globalist agenda, and also that they signed up for was to be pro-European. So again, they aren't even discussing the rearmament Europe plan, where Ireland are being dragged towards more militarism in the European Union and going to be a slashing of basic public services. These are the real issues that affect ordinary people, with the cost of living disaster, higher energy costs, and basic issues in Ireland in terms of lack of basic democracy. But these privileged elites are more interested in grandstanding and trying to get one up on each other. And it demonstrates the contempt that people like Lowry have for the people of Ireland by putting his fingers up in Dail Eireann yesterday. Absolutely disgusting, disgraceful scenes where Lowry just shows his sheer and utter contempt for ordinary people. But what would you expect from somebody who's completely out of touch with the lives of ordinary people? He might do a little favours for a few people in Tipperary, like for instance, turn up to a funeral and do the normal stuff that people expect from politicians, and the whole parish pump politics, which is absolute nonsense. But it demonstrates a deeper malaise within Irish society, a deeper rot that's set in to the culture of Irish politics. It needs a radical, dramatic shift in Ireland. It needs people to step up and stand up against this corrupt political establishment who are only interested in preserving their own self-serving egos, their own push for their own power and privilege, but also to feather their own nests in terms of making massive money from the public expense. I spoke a number of days ago about Varadkar moving on to his public relations job. We've seen that before with so many of these political establishments, and Taoiseach as well move into various roles, which is then the Kenny with a vulture fund as well. They're completely out of touch with ordinary people's lives, and it's across the spectrum of that Dáil yesterday. And it's remarkable when you see so many people, so-called opposition, lining up on the plinth yesterday outside Dail Eireann. And Aontú was one of those parties with them as well. And Aontú were the ones who were part of this regional technical group with Lowry in the first instance, and now they're trying to claim they're not part of it, much the same as all the other parties. And it was interesting to see Roderick O'Gorman lining up behind them as well. So this is the fake opposition we really have in Irish society when you see all these people line up, people like the Labour Party, even Sinn Féin, who are fully behind what's going on in Europe and fully haven't spoken out about the real issues happening in Irish society as well, and those other parties as well. So it's really grandstanding, but it is important as well in terms of the corruption and the endemic malaise that's seeped into Irish society, and will just make more people more apathetic towards political life, and that's what they want. But it should work in reverse. We should be becoming more political, we should be getting more engaged with what's going on, and really working together to decide what Ireland we want to live in. Not an Ireland with these privileged clowns in the Dáil who are making a mockery of people's lives, who are struggling day to day with ordinary experiences of facing homelessness, facing sheer lack of investment in public services, and a sheer lack and erosion of Irish sovereignty, and erosion of Irish neutrality, and erosion of Irish independence, and build a vision for a country that we're proud of, that puts the needs of our citizens first, rather than these absolutely out of touch clowns who are more interested in grandstanding, putting forward their motions and no confidence, and of course being lapped up by the mainstream media. So thanks for the support of my videos, and please press subscribe to my channel. So from Dublin, take care. Slán.